Good evening. This is Darian Rakestraw from Northeastern University, a doctorate in law and policy. I'm here to discuss with you my pilot study. My topic for my pilot study was cultural discourse in higher education. My pilot study was designed to answer three research questions. The questions were based upon our departments of schools in a higher education setting, HIPAA-covered entities. What were the impacts of the Department of School meeting regulatory compliance, people, process, and technology impacts, and what were the barriers to becoming compliant and staying compliant within these environments. Higher education compliance has many layers of abstractions. Within a university setting, typically you have a top-down model where executive leadership drives policy, practice, and procedures. And the decisions and actions are made at the executive level. The typical department heads carry out these directives as policy and actions. This group maintains the systems and they maintain the processes that are based upon policy established by the university leadership. In addition, you have a third layer of abstraction, which is environment and culture. How does the environment accept or behave within a highly regulated compliance area? In this particular case, I interviewed a healthcare section of university that included a health clinic and a counseling and psychology clinic. I interviewed the directors, the associate directors, and technical staff. From my initial questions into the group, I discovered a prevailing culture of discourse in higher education. That prevailing culture is based upon a lack of executive leadership. Leadership did not just demonstrate compliance as a priority. That was based upon the directions or directives that senior management were given to follow, which were not clear or concise, which led to a lot of ambiguity, misinterpretation, multiple layers of application. And what I mean by that is administrative burden as far as going to multiple departments to get one particular action done without a clear understanding of what's required. There were not explicit examples given or explicit processes provided by executive leadership. So a lot of what took place at the university was different department heads performing the tasks they felt they needed to do to the best of their abilities without linking back to a specific policy that they could adhere to at the university. It was more of a standard operating procedures at each department that didn't clearly follow HIPAA compliance regulatory requirements, thus leading to a non-compliance environment. What that alludes to is, what is the discourse? What is the prevailing discourse in the university environments? Is compliance-related items typically are dealt with in a reactive and a case-oriented manner instead of being proactive and the systems are orientated where they have lack of resources, expertise, and leadership. Higher education compliance policies lack a top-down leadership, financial and support, and sponsorship. So thus you have an environment that is disjointed and operate inefficiently. My findings for the study overall were lack of executive leadership led to non-compliance with the university. The overall qualitative response from the staff I interviewed showed a lack of empowerment based upon the lack of interaction from executive staff, pessimism toward being able to execute on a policy if given by the university due to lack of financial support and executive sponsorship. Thus, the overall social change towards compliance was rejected. A lot of staff, the senior management that I interviewed, as well as the technical staff that I interviewed, felt that social change within the environment to be more acceptive or receptive of compliance requirements was not something the university would really adhere to, and that even if they initiate projects to move forward with being compliant, the projects would more than likely fail based upon previous results. That ends my topic discussion for pilot study for cultural discourse in higher education. Thank you. Have a good evening.